Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvina Vadidamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Have you ever thought about the word release and the concept of releasing prayers, releasing visions, releasing desires, releasing dreams as a spiritual practice? Today's offering is about this very important step that will actually help bring to you beautiful, beautiful results in your life once you learn how to master this practice. Namaste and welcome to the Spiritual Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra Savitri Amba, director of the American Reiki Academy, Los Angeles' oldest Reiki school, and the Vedic Healing Center. I'm a Reiki master, Vedic healing master, clairaudient channel, and healer who has practiced and taught spiritual self-development and healing for more than 35 years, led pilgrimages to India, and studied with blessed Indian gurus. In this show, we cover topics related to metaphysics, Reiki, Vedic healing, manifestation, spiritual growth, and feng shui, based upon my studies and work in these disciplines. The aim of this show is to help you awaken, develop, and tap into your spiritual power in order that you may live well, manifest your dreams, and ultimately fulfill your unique divine destiny by working from the inside out. It begins with energy. Welcome to today's episode, which is centered around the concept of release. And I wanted to talk about this because it's one of the steps in the manifestation process and in our development as spiritual practitioners. So when you are trying to create something in your life and you have a focus and you have a vision, you have a dream, it is easy to put attention on the process of creating this dream, but there are different steps, there are different elements to actually having the dream come true, having the desire come to fruition. And one of the steps, again, as I said in the intro, that's very much overlooked is this concept of release, because it's a very yin process. When I say yin, I mean feminine, I mean soft, gentle practice. It's not a practice of you doing anymore or putting out that vision anymore, or you doing any physical action per se. It is a practice of surrendering and of letting go so that your dream can actually come true. See, in some part of the process of manifestation for whatever you desire and need, what you feel you desire and need in your life, there has to be this release. There has to be a gentle letting go of the whole vision. It's like when you plant a seed. If you've ever gardened, it's a really beautiful process. I love to garden, so sometimes I plant things from seed, and we nurture those seeds, but then we allow them to germinate, to start to grow. We don't imagine if you kept digging up the seed and saying, "Are you growing? Are you growing? Is anything happening there? Because I can't see evidence here on top of the soil." So I just thought I would disturb the soil a little bit and dig underneath and see if you're growing. Are you growing? Are you growing? Are you growing? Now, that isn't manifestation. That is actually demonstrating a great distrust of the process of the seed growing into a plant, a little sapling, whatever you're nurturing. So instead, when we are putting forth our dreams into the universe, there must be this element, and it must be conscious, because sometimes you think you have let go of the results, you have released the results to the universe, but actually you still have a hold on them. And as long as there is a hold, these dreams cannot really come to you in the way that would be most advantageous. There's going to be a little bit too much micromanaging on your part. So if I'm a gardener and I'm planting seeds and I'm watering them, and then every day I'm also peeking in the soil and disturbing the soil, or let's say you're baking a cake, same process, and you keep opening the oven. We're told when we bake not to open the oven because you're disturbing the process of the cake baking. You can open it at the end and see, is this, you put a fork in it, is this baked, or do I have to let it be a little bit longer? So that process of letting something be is very yin. It's very soft. You're trusting that all the ingredients are coming together and that the process of baking is occurring, that the oven is at the right temperature, and that you have mixed everything well so that the cake can rise. And same thing with the seed. So you're watering it, you're exposing it to sunlight, you're putting it in the right lighting in your garden, you're nurturing it, but then you're letting it be so that it can do its work. And some of the ways we do this in a spiritual practice are quite interesting. So first, there is the awareness that we must let something go in order for it to come to fruition. There is that awareness. It's just like when a parent has a child, the parent raises and raises and raises the child and nurtures the child and instructs the child and tries to guide the child. And then at some point, the parent releases the child to the universe so that then the child can go out and blossom. And if there is too much of a hold on either part, either the child or the parent, too much of an attachment or a dependence, then the blossoming of the child cannot really occur to the full potential of that child. And the parent who is serving as the guru or the teacher or the divine force also cannot fulfill his or her own purpose by keeping a hold on this child. The parent knows I must at some point release this child to the universe and trust that I have helped this child in the best way I can. And this is quite difficult for both sides until it isn't, until we understand the process. So when we're baking that cake, if you think of it this way, because the oven is kind of a neutral force, so it doesn't have all the considerations maybe of a parent. So the oven is doing its job to bake that cake. The sun is doing its job to help that seed grow. The water is doing its job, and none of these forces have the considerations that we have. They're just doing their job. They are just being, just doing what they are designed to do. So the sun is designed to bring light and illumination and growth and wisdom and intelligence to our planet, and it just does that. It just does that. So we allow the process, and what we do as recipients is we receive. We receive the blessings of the sun, of the universe. We just open our arms out, and this is something you can do, because I said there are different ways you can demonstrate this release and this letting go. So you can be open in this letting go. You are open to what the universe is going to bring you, and you can physically put your chest back and open your arms wide. Put your head up to the sun. Close your eyes and affirm, I am open, ready, and willing to receive blessings, and I release. So it's a little bit of a mixture of being open, and I release and release. So being open and releasing the hold on it, and I release any considerations I have about how this thing should work out. I'm watering the plant, and I'm thinking it's going to look a certain way, and then it surprises me, and it has more branches on it than I would have thought. I recently have had this experience where I had a jacaranda tree, which is a really beautiful tree. They're common in Los Angeles. They're beautiful trees, and they have purple flowers and really beautiful green leaves that are very delicate and provide a lot of shade. And I recently had a jacaranda tree grow in my garden spontaneously. I mean, I hadn't planted it, so these seeds travel in the wind, and sometimes they crop up in your garden. Different plants crop up that you haven't planted. So this tree grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, and I saw it. I didn't know it was a tree. I saw it growing, and it was growing pretty fast, and it was just a little sapling. So I started watering it, and I thought, oh, this is so pretty. I don't know what it is. And it grew, and it grew into a tree, and the trunk was probably about the size of my leg, my thigh, actually, the top of my leg. It grew really nicely. And it was quite amazing to watch it, and it provided beautiful shade, and just was so amazing. I loved this tree. I loved how it looked. I loved that I had watered it and that it had grown, and it was now providing this beauty in my yard. But I live in a rental property, and the landlord did not like this tree, or thought that the roots would be invasive to the building, and so to the house, and so one day he chopped it down. And for me, it was very sad. It wasn't. It was very meaningful to me, and as a practitioner, if you are sensitive to energies, you're sensitive to plants and all living beings around you, animals. And so when this tree was chopped down, I was very sad. I had also nurtured it, as I said, from a little tiny sapling. But I had to let go of the process. I had to let go of my attachment, release my attachment to this tree. And what happened as a result was little tiny jacarandas started growing all over the yard, little saplings everywhere. And before I tell you how I think this relates to the concept of release, I want to go back to the original tree. So not only was it beautiful, I want you to really kind of envision this for a second, because it had grown in such a way that its branches were sheltering my whole side yard, and I could see it from 3 or 4 windows. It was just such a beautiful tree. I can't stress that enough. And where there once was nothing, now there was this stunning tree, which represented to me protection of my space and the response to me caring for the space. So this tree meant a lot to me, needless to say. But as the little saplings grew all over the place, I was really charmed by them. As I was kind of enchanted by the parent tree, I was charmed by the little saplings. And I saw them kind of just taking fruition everywhere. And it was as if they were saying, this other dream was released, it was ended. It was complete, because in the chopping down, it had completed its purpose, but something new had emerged, and something more magnificent than that one tree. Because when that one tree was growing, I did not see any saplings anywhere. So it was only after the tree was chopped down that these started growing. And I don't know really what the process is and if this happens all the time, but it was such an incredible phenomenon for me to be sad at the ending of this tree, and then see all the little children trees coming up. And so, of course, I nurtured them all. I watered them. I dug them out of the ground so that at some point, could not be chopped down again, if they grew too tall. And now I am the custodian of all these beautiful trees in all different sizes of pots. And the reason I'm telling this and taking a long time to say this is that as we release, I'm seeing it as an analogy, which is why I'm telling you. So as we release the dream, the vision, the experience we want to create in the world, sometimes we think there's a death. We think what's going to happen if I let go of this? Let's say you're living in a home and you need to move. And you say, oh no, I really love it here. Now what's going to become of me? Where am I going to go? So of course you know, on some deep level, you're going to go somewhere else. Nothing is ending. But we move into that fear, we move into that upset, and we fail to trust the process, allow the process. And as we start to release an attachment to everything around us, we just move into a space, again, of allowing everything. And in that allowing, greater things can blossom. That's why when we're working with manifestation techniques, we will say this or something better now manifests for me. And we release the prayer to the universe, knowing that the universe is at work responding to your prayers. But it's only through the process of release that we make room for the new. I've talked a lot about the cycle of creation, sustenance, and destruction. So the process of releasing, as I'm referring to it right now, lies in that third element of destruction. And this is personified in the energies of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. So Shiva is the destructive force, but the destructive force and regenerative force. The jacaranda tree was destroyed, was cut down, but regenerated itself, himself or herself, as small saplings all around, and restored also my belief and my love of the whole process. Because as I watched the ending of this tree, and was very sad, I also moved into delight as the little saplings came up. And today I'd like to give you a soft challenge to ask yourself, what are you releasing in your life? First, you might say, what are you holding on to? So there's the idea that we have lots of things around us. We surround ourselves with beautiful things often, but the attachment to these things is what can take us astray. So what do you have in your space that you are completely attached to and you feel as if you cannot live without? Once we start understanding the transitory nature of everything, it becomes much easier to be unattached and to be able to release. We have to release in order to make room for the new. So look around your space, ask yourself, what can I see myself releasing? What do I have a hold on? What would my life be like if I released these things? What would I be making room for if I released these things? There's a process in feng shui where we clear clutter. It is said that we can do cures, we can do energetic cures, which are like remedies to bring in different positive energies to our life. We can do those on top of clutter, but it's a lot more effective if we clear the clutter. So if we physically release some objects first, the cures will work better. They will still work, but they will work better. So what can you release? And how do you release? How do you release? Maybe it's things you want to release that are, for instance, conditions in your life. So you can't put it out in a bag for goodwill, but you could write on a piece of paper, I'm now releasing this tendency, or I'm now releasing this unhealthy relationship, or I'm now releasing this habit that no longer works for me. And when you write it on paper, you want to do something with that paper. It's okay to write in a journal, but it's even more advantageous to then work with a sacred space. It could be an altar. You could call it your meditation space, whatever you want to call it. But using that space for the things you are releasing. Sometimes we release them through rituals. We may burn them. We may do certain rituals. We may do them in a group. We may do them individually. But this process of release is such an important energetic process, and it gives you the space to invite in something new, and something new that may be even more magnificent than you have realized. Do I still miss that jacaranda tree? Yes, I do. Because every time I go in my backyard and I see the trunk where she once lived, I remember the beauty. I remember the beauty and the shade and the delicate leaves that grew. But I also give thanks for all the new trees that she has brought forth, and my understanding now about how to care for jacaranda trees and my love of them. I've always seen them planted on the streets in Los Angeles or on people's properties, but I have never raised one from a little seed. And so that one tree gave me that gift. And as I said, I love to garden. So you are the master gardener in your life. You are planting little seeds. You are nurturing them. This is the creative process, Brahma. You are envisioning what you want. You're planning the garden. You're plotting the garden. You're conjuring it up. And you're planting the seeds. You're nurturing them. You're watering them. You water them. Let's say it's your dreams, because we're using this as an analogy. So you're giving fuel to your dreams through creative visualization, maybe through Reiki, through chanting, through different techniques that you may learn. I teach different techniques in Vedic healing. So we're using beautiful energetic techniques to nurture our dreams that are growing in this garden that is your creation. And we are watering them. We're doing our practice every day. We're giving life to them. We're also doing the work in the world, the physical work, the phone calls or the seemingly mundane things that we have to do, the tasks, the emails, the filling out forms, things like that, that we have to do to support those dreams. So it's a beautiful marriage of yin and yang. And when you work with both of them and have an understanding, you really notice how the yin supports the yang. So the feminine energy supports the masculine energy of doing, of action. You can have one without the other, but when you bring them together, you create a beautiful marriage. It's a marriage. So you are watering them through your practice, through your chanting, through your getting in balance, through your serenity, through your focus, and allowing them to grow, and then releasing, always releasing them into the universe. I'm watering these prayers. I am giving plant food to these little saplings, and I'm trusting the process. I'm surrendering everything to a higher force, and I am, in the end, releasing them so that they can blossom, and then so new things can emerge in my garden as well. So it's always a very full experience. Remember, you're creating, you're sustaining energy, you're destroying energy, but then the destructive part regenerates and the process keeps continuing. So the main way to keep it continuing is to keep in movement. Just keep in movement and not get stuck thinking nothing's happening. Nothing's happening, so I better just give up. It's always happening. As long as you also are moving and watering and nurturing these things, it's going to happen better. It's going to happen in a way that will really please you. It's still going to happen. Life is still going to happen. Whether you're watering your dreams or not, things are going to manifest in your life. So people use the term manifestation and think it's just about drawing your dreams to you. But manifestation is going on all the time. All the time. It's never going to stop. So today, take a look at what you need to release, what dreams you have, you may need to just release to the universe. You've put your requests out there, and now you release them and let them go. And how you're releasing them. And are you really releasing them? Or do you still have a little bit of hold on it? Are you still opening the oven and saying, oh, how's that cake look? Is that cake rising? Oh, did I not put enough baking soda in there? No, just allowing the process, and knowing also that if you, in the end, open the oven, pull the cake out, it didn't find out that you did not put enough baking soda in it, it didn't rise to the ability it could have, then what do? You bake another cake. You plant another seed. So you keep going no matter what. And you keep going with the support that you need. Discerning all the time, where is this support available to me? How do you know the support is good for you? You will feel it. You will feel good around the person, the people, the atmosphere, the activity, the community that you select. So when I take groups to India, we go to a really quite amazing ancient temples that are hundreds, thousands of years old, actually. Most of the time, thousands of years old, quite old. And they are filled with a presence, an energetic force field. So we go to these sacred spots and we feel something. We can't intellectually explain it. And I always tell people, don't try to figure this out. You'll never figure this out. I'll never figure this out. I'll never figure out exactly what I am gaining from this experience, but I will trust because of how the space makes me feel that something incredible is happening. I've been in temples where the darshan is where you have a sighting. It means like being in the presence of the deity. So the whatever the deity form is for that temple. And the deity rests during the day also. He or she is placed in a very sacred space in the middle of the temple somewhere, very protected space. And so you go into the temple and you stand in lines and you wind around and around and around in some of these places, magnificent places, marble floors, and you can feel a presence. You can feel all the prayers that have been done in there for thousands of years, often. And you eventually come to the front where you find yourself standing in front of the altar, which is called the Sanctum Sanctorum. And the deity is made available to the public a few times a day. When I say that, there are doors that are opened. So you wait, and then the doors open. And when the doors open, the pujari, the priest, does rituals. He may be chanting many things, worshipping the deity with flowers or fruit or different substances, sandalwood, vibhuti, sacred ash, fire, incense. And in that moment, there is an incredible transmission of energy that you cannot explain. It's a palpable feeling of presence. And when you become more sensitive to energy, the more and more you become sensitive, the more you will feel this presence. At first, it may be intellectual. It may be, oh, this is beautiful. Oh, this is interesting. Like you're trying to figure it out. Oh, what is this pujari doing? Oh, look at all the rituals and listen to the magnificent chanting. And then you start moving into this feeling. I would say it's very difficult not to feel anything. And in this moment, there is an incredible release of all concerns, of all troubles, of all problems, and you find yourself simply in that moment connecting with that space. So you cannot know what those few moments may have done or provided for your energy field. But I can say from personal experience and from having had the good fortune of visiting many ancient temples over the years, without a shadow of a doubt, every single darshan has done something in my energy field that has contributed positively to the person I am now and has provided an energetic upliftment. So why am I telling you all of this? I guess my mind wandered there because I want to encourage you to think about releasing everything to the universal wisdom. When you stand in front of a deity form in one of these temples, everything has been released. Everything has been not really forgotten, but kind of forgotten. Like all your troubles and your problems, and you're just present in this moment. So if you can take this kind of energy and bring it to all of your problems and concerns and obstacles on a daily basis and just say, I'm releasing all of this to a higher wisdom, and really, really doing this, really, really being willing to release what no longer serves you for your highest good to emerge, to release the need to control every aspect of your life, to release perhaps old concepts about yourself, to release negative self-image, to release fear, worry, doubt, upset, anger, to release the resistance to change, to release attachment to how or when something is going to happen. And so release is an active process, and what happens after release is a complete and utter surrender. Surrender to the divine wisdom. So release is where you consciously let go of something, and surrender is what follows. It's the willingness to trust what unfolds after you have released what is needing to go. So today's mantra offering is to help you have the courage to release so that new little saplings can come up in your life, so that the cake that you wanted to bake can finally come out of the oven. Not a very beautiful analogy, but I think you understand what I mean. You've done a lot of work. You've put forth dreams and desires, and only in the release do those dreams and desires come back to you. Have the courage to release them. If you like, you can sit back and listen to these sacred sounds. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to connect, feel free to email me or DM me on Instagram. May these teachings help inspire you in your life today to release what no longer serves you and make room for the new. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Om Sai Ram. Jai Guruji. Om Amriteshware Namaha. Hare Krishna. Om Namah Shivaya.